Hey, everybody, welcome. Here we go. Tough Bumps, episode 48. My name is Matt Connerton, and of course, with me, as always, my partner in crime in this endeavor, Eric Pilcher, is here. Hello, Eric.
Hello, Matt.
Eric Pilcher, the man of many names, also known as Eric Pincher, Eric Filter.
Sadly, yes, many names, but there is one outlet that will no longer hear those many names.
That is true. Before we get to that, though, of course, we should acknowledge the final boss, Austin. Austin Hicks is not here with us today.
Of Tough Bumps.
He's what?
The pro janitor.
The pro janitor.
Yeah.
He is not here with us this week. He is under the weather, so I'm sure he'll be back next week. But if you are joining us live as we stream online, today is Sunday, June 7, 2026, just after 4 p.m. in the Eastern time zone here. And of course, so thank you. You know, you can always chime in the chat room, especially with our first subject today. People might want to chime in the chat room here during the show. But of course, we do appreciate everyone who, and the majority of our listeners do get the show via podcast after the fact. Please subscribe to Tough Bumps on your podcast platform of choice. And of course, if it's YouTube, please like and subscribe to the podcast and so forth. So we appreciate all of you. And some big news. Let's see. I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and grab the graphic here. Some big news that has happened in the lore of what we do here, shall we say. Our favorite Sammy Hagar impersonator has died. No, I'm kidding. He is not dead. But his YouTube channel has gone the way of the dodo, as they say. R.I.P. Crazy Joe Show Video Chronicles on YouTube. We will never again get to enjoy Crazy Joe's YouTube channel. It is gone. It has been removed. All of the videos have been removed. Hard to believe that this man could possibly have ever done anything that would cause a terms of service violation. But apparently he did. And that's it. That's the end of Crazy Joe's YouTube channel. It is gone forever. Eric, your thoughts?
That
actually hurt.
I'm sorry, Matt.
That's okay. I know you're grieving.
I'm busted up with unbridled joy at this.
Oh, unbridled joy.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Who knew that being a racist, bigoted, sexagenarian boomer on YouTube could lead to you getting removed? Who knew? Who knew? And, you know, I have a great deal of joy in my heart that I had something to do with this.
Do tell.
Well, I mean, this all started, like, I would report when he would say direct negative things about me, you, or Billy, and use our real names, because then it's easy to attribute it to a YouTube user.
Right.
But then I don't want to say smartened up, because I don't ever think Joe could smarten up.
Right.
But he started giving us nicknames that made it harder to report him. But then Femyaz came in.
Ah, yes.
And that brought in a whole new litany of problems for Crazy Joe, because Crazy Joe seemed to think that he could say derogatory things about the LGBTQI movement and transgendered people specifically. That is when I began to report him for it. And after one of my reports, his channel went the way of the dodo.
Yes.
Look, he sits here and paints this picture that we're jealous of him, that this is all jealousy. And I'm going to say some pretty pointed things here.
Okay.
One, when I die, the nurses won't be my family, Joe. I'll have people that care. And people around me. I know that. Do you? Joe, I have never had to ask for money for new equipment to do this show. Can you say the same thing? Joe, I have never blamed anyone or any company for things that were my own fault. Can you say that? Absolutely not. See, Joe, there is not an ounce of jealousy that myself, Matt Connerton, and I'm not trying to speak for them, but I'm going to assume Billy Painter, Robin Slim, and even Dirk Don, who we will get to shortly, I'm sure.
And Jenny as well. Jenny was a frequent target of his
Jenny,
diatribe.
none of us are jealous of you. You are a lol cow. If you don't know what that is, I highly suggest you look it up. And because your speech impediment obviously affects your spelling ability, it's LOL space cow. Look it up, Joe, and that's what you are. That is where all of your subscribers came from. All of your subscribers were generated from a majority of them. I'm going to say 90+% of them were generated from Patrick Melton, which the irony, and if you don't know what irony is, it's IRONY, again, look it up, is that one of the people you hate the most, Patrick Melton, made you successful by giving you coverage on his show. It is not your talent, Joe. Everyone laughs at you. There isn't a part where people are like, oh, he's talented. And now I go to your deal with Dare Talk Radio and Radio X or whatever it's called. You create free content for General Scotty. That's all you are, is free content, Joe. Look at their Facebook page. They sit there and, they sit there and do AI-generated advertisements for every show they have. But I haven't seen one for you, Joe. Why is that? Because you are the gray-haired Chiquita Banana Woman-looking stepchild for Dare Talk Radio. You're their Special Olympian. You're the person that they just put on the air and we'll just throw them on there and whatever happens, happens. Charles Richardson, someone else you've attacked.
Yep, Charles is in the chat room, says, ha, 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 bye-bye, Joey boy.
And you even tried to get Matt and I to debate you on Charles's show.
Oh, multiple times he tried to, and it's like, debate what?
Well, debate what? And I'm going to say I'm pretty sure Charles was completely unaware of this. Charles can clarify in the chat. I hold no ill will towards Charles on any of it.
No.
But Charles, I don't think even knew Joe was offering this.
Right.
To you and I.
Right.
Like, it's Charles' show. And generally the host would come to the two people being targeted and be like, hey, here's the offer. Here's what it, Charles is very professional.
Yes.
So I'm sure he would have done that. The deplorable things he has said, the disgusting accusations he has made against me, against Billy Painter, against you, against your deceased father, who did serve in the military despite his lies. And I do feel compelled to note that Joe, last video, Thank you, Boomer. Yes. Boomer is in chat. I'm a klutz. I was walking Vito wearing slides and Under Armour slides and ripped open my toe on the sidewalk.
Oh, that's
yeah,
no fun.
Which is very iffy when you're a diabetic. So, and Charles clarified. So thank you, Boomer. I appreciate it. Yeah, and that's fine, but
Charles his comment for our audio listeners. Charles said in the chat he actually spoke of it and wanted me to put it together. So Charles was in the loop on that, but Charles obviously didn't take it very seriously because he never approached either one of us that I can recall to actually partake in this.
Have approached me or Matt, I would have taken it more seriously than I did.
Right.
R.I.P. Eric's foot. It's not dead yet. Not dead yet. It's fine. You know, just got to look after it and make sure it's stays clean and everything like that. So it's no big deal. It's one of those you just look at it and you're like, geez, I'm a klutz.
So this whole thing with Joe, for those who don't know, it's been going on. I believe it's been 6 years now.
It's been.
6 years.
Here's the thing is he says that we can't stop talking about him, but he does strings of videos about us no matter what.
Right.
Questioning whether we have a show, telling outright lies about us, or accusing family members of things that are just so disgusting. They have no place on the internet. And so
we also should mention too, he's tried to screw with us in a real way. For example, on multiple occasions, he called my boss at WMNH and tried to get me fired, tried to get me taken off the air.
He's emailed Irish Tribune.
Yep.
Didn't work, Joe.
Nope.
Time does fly, Charles. You're right. And look, I mean, it's one of those things that there are times, and I will say this about it, depending on the day, there are times that I do get genuinely angry at him.
Really? See, that's something that's
on my mood going into it.
That's one thing where I've been different than everybody else, and that I can honestly say I've never been angry at him. Well, no, actually, that's not true. I'm sorry, I take that back. I've been angry at him when he tried to get me fired. Because that's a really low thing to do. Nothing he has ever said about me online has made me angry, because I always say, I mean, if you're trying to hurt my feelings, saying mean things about me on the internet just is not going to get it done.
I guess when he made me angry is the outright lies he told about me.
Yeah.
Was I arrested? Yes. Did I threaten my boss? No. Did I beat my ex-wife, who is one of my best friends? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, it just shows the level of cowardice and pettiness he has to bring my ex-wife into this.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like, dude, it's between you and I. My ex-wife, I sent her some of the videos of him, and she said, what a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Point blank were her words. And so, yeah, it does bother me because, words can be weapons. Mm-hmm. If the wrong person hears some of that stuff, and I just started a new job where I had to pass a very stringent background check. Mm-hmm. If I did even one of the things Joe accuses me of, I would not have that job.
Right. I did also get a call, and by the way, you can find this on YouTube. Me talking about this, I got a call from the New York State Police. Again, this was a number of years ago, about a complaint that Joe had made against me, and they were calling to investigate. And the state trooper, I cannot remember his name, but he was pretty cool. he was kind of laughing about it. He was like, look, he told me flat out, he said, I have to follow up on this. I'm required to, but I understand that. I don't think he used these exact words because he was cool, but he was very professional. But he said something like, I understood that I was dealing with a crazy person when I took that call. So he said, I'm just following up so I can close this out. But and he was, like I said, really, really nice guy. But yeah, so he's tried to do, because online beefs are one thing. And personally, like I've always loved, it's part of what I like about some of Patrick Milton's content. Part of why I got into Pod Awful, I know Jesse PS a little bit, is I actually love a good online feud. I think that stuff is fascinating, or even things that kind of transcend that. Like, for example, I know I'm a year too late, but I've been really interested in what's going on with Dan Le Batard, not technically a feud, but Dan Le Batard and Stugotz and the fracturing of their relationship. Really, really interesting to me. Anything like that is fascinating to me.
I hate both of them.
Well, I'm not familiar enough to really hate either of them, but
it's sports, man.
It's sports. But although Le Batard does some political content too, which I actually very much like, that's how I got sucked into that, his political content. But
that's actually a part of the beef.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But so I love that stuff. And that's why nothing he said about me online ever offended me. Cause a good online feud can actually be very good for engagement. That's why I don't mind the trolls at all. Actually, even when they show up on Matt Connerton Unleashed now, I don't mind them.
I don't mind the trolls, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I think when it becomes, and I don't mind an online beef, because an online beef can actually benefit all parties.
That's the thing. If you play it right, everybody involved benefits from it. Yep.
Yeah. And so I don't mind. But when you make it personal and attack people's jobs, attack people's livelihoods, attack people's parents in their military service, and accuse them of downright heinous actions. You reap what you sow, and eventually you're going to get, as the graphic shows, buried. And that's what happened. And you know what? Couldn't have happened to a better guy. Honestly. Like, and and yes, he does have another YouTube channel, which, there's been some information shared with both of us that we have that could end up happening to him because of that second YouTube channel.
And apparently he's very upset because with the new YouTube channel, he cannot go live because you have to he doesn't have the minimum threshold of subscribers on his new channel to go live. And he posted a video about that.
3-minute videos now, I guess.
No, that's not correct.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Doesn't he have videos on his new channel that are longer than that?
He does, but his last two have only been 3 minutes, and he's like, here's your 3-minute video, you cock.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that's a restriction or he's just technologically illiterate, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know the specifics on that, honestly.
Yeah. Charles mentions, of course, because he hosts the Charles Richardson show. He says, yep, when I called him out, I got some benefits from it too. Absolutely. Oh, Jenny is also in the chat room, by the way. Hello, Jenny. Welcome.
Hi, Jenny. But yeah, sorry, Matt.
No, go ahead.
It's just one of those things. And, there is a flip side to this. There is another point of view. If you are a purveyor of free speech, that this could be seen as a bad thing.
Yeah.
And we actually have a friend who feels that way.
Oh yeah, someone who was a big part of the Crazy Joe saga.
You and I met.
That's right.
This individual, Dirt Don.
A voice from the past has come back.
Yes.
To eulogize Crazy Joe's video chronicles, his YouTube channel. And we'll present that to you now. Sound good, Eric?
Yes, I'm going to step away while that plays briefly.
All right. Very good. Here we go.
Hi, Crazy Joe. This is Dirk. It's been ages, hasn't it? Heard you were saying you ran me off. Instead, I came to the realization that I had done everything that I had set to do. I said everything that I wanted. Even my flagship show about gaming was eventually going to end at some point. The market changed, and so did I. Gaming isn't as fun as it used to be. Hobbies changed. With that, I closed down what I built. Even sold my audio equipment. Some things have to ride off into the sunset. Would I ever make content again? Who knows? Over the past handful of years, I have been enjoying the married life with a woman who loves me, and I have been dedicating my time being active in the Church of Satan, where I have now ascended to the warlock status in the hierarchy. The achievement is incredible and very special. While living the best life of indulgence possible, I would check your channel out and see what's going on once in a while. Sometimes hearing the monologues about Ratso Fatso and Eric Pincher. And I've even tuned into your show from down under, where summer there is winter here. Isn't that weird about Australia? That whole place sounds terrifying with all the creatures that want to kill you. Anyway, I heard you lost your YouTube channel, the legendary channel known as The Crazy Joe Show Rated R. Not sure how it happened, and it was very sudden. You may be listening to this thinking, here I am to dance on the grave of your channel. No. In fact, that is not the case. Joe, there is something I want to say, and I need you to understand that this is sincere. I want you to get your YouTube channel back. That may come as a surprise to you, but this wish is legitimate. I genuinely want you to get your YouTube channel back. Google is a bad company, and it is a bad thing for the internet. The way that Google suppresses speech while wishing to be the main hub everyone uses is disgusting. What I truly believe is that a person should be able to say what horrible things they want to, and for people to then respond organically and legally. My internet background involves shock websites and image boards where people said things to be the worst people they could be just because it was funny. The internet should allow for people to express what kind of person they are. It's what allows for freedom of association to flourish. Racists can pal around with racists, and non-racists can pal around with non-racists. When you shut someone up for their speech, what happens? It doesn't really stop. It simply goes underground, where ideas can fester and grow. The real danger can also come from suppression of information, leading to speculation that spreads uncontrollably. You should also work to get your YouTube channel back because online media is like a snapshot of history. The good times and the bad are parts of the show that is life, and, well, I especially love channels with people who freak out over dumb things. Who doesn't love watching a juicy internet drama? You've been taking it pretty rough since the internet overlords told you off, but it could always be worse. Have you seen what's going on with Stacey Lofton? Look it up. But I hope nothing but the worst for that person in prison. So don't give up. Free speech isn't just some American amendment. It's something that should be a standard worldwide. Remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.
So what did you think of the eulogy there?
Not what I expected.
No.
But while I agree with Dirk's the foundation of Dirk's statement, I disagree in this particular instance. Freedom of speech does not give you the right to freedom to offend and be hateful and bigoted. There has to be a line. and I don't know, I think that line is particular to each individual person, but I think when you make some of the personal attacks that he made on all of us, that is the line that cannot be crossed. And so while I agree in basic principle with Dirk, in this particular instance, I totally disagree. I think the punishment was far overdue and well-deserved.
I basically agree with you. I would argue it in a slightly different way, just from my point of view in that. And again, I you know, in spirit, in principle, I agree with what Dirk is saying about protecting free speech. But at the same time, I would also say, and this is how I would argue it, again, agreeing with you, is that these platforms, whether it be YouTube or any other platform, any social media platform, they have every right, as they operate their businesses, to make decisions about what is and is not appropriate for their platforms, because they don't owe anybody, you know, because Joe likes to say, oh, my free speech is being violated somehow. You know, that's his complaint. My First Amendment rights are being violated. He always says that, but that's not true. The government, if the government is silencing you, then your free speech rights, or your First Amendment rights, are being violated. But if a platform is silencing you, at least this is my perspective on it, that's simply that platform making decisions about what can or what is or is not permissible on their platform. And every platform has a right to do that and to police that as they see fit. So that's how I would argue it. So I disagree. I guess, you know, Dirk makes a statement about Google as a bad company. I don't know. I'd be interested to talk with Dirk about that more. I guess, in other words, suggesting that YouTube is out of line for having these rules. But again, it's up to them. And, you know, if they don't like hate speech or what they feel is hate speech, then they have a right to control that and to police that. That's how I would argue it.
Right. And I agree with you. I mean, obviously I've had issues with Google. I think all of us have had issues with Google.
Sure.
So yeah, other than that, I don't see this as being a violation of freedom of speech. I see this as combating hateful, bigoted content that when words can be used to weaponize.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I see it as.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. All right. Well, there you go. So RIP Crazy Joe Show Video Chronicles.
Rest in piss, buddy.
And he is in the hospital. So who knows? He might die for real.
I'm not gonna comment. It's vertigo. Like, really?
Well, it sounds like there's something wrong with his heart too, though, isn't there?
He says he has AFib.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay. But from the sounds of his video, it's just vertigo. That's why he was in the hospital. And it's like, take some anti-nausea medication, and there's medication you can take when you have a vertigo spell.
Well, there's even a U2 song that makes it sound fun.
Yes.
We're in a place called Vertigo. Sounds like a good time. All
we
right.
Just play that whenever we talk about him now.
Yeah.
We might get copyright banned, though.
Then we can't. Well, we won't get. What'll happen is we'll just we'll never be able to monetize this. You know, should that day ever come. All right. Well, very good. Well, should we move on? We'll move on from our fallen anti-hero.
Delusional web broadcasters to delusional schedule makers.
Yes. So apparently SmackDown, there's a new plan to alternate between 2 and 3 hour shows. Is that correct?
Yes. So basically, here is the plan, is that SmackDown will be 3. This is according to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer. So take it for what you will.
Okay.
The current plan is to be 3 hours every year from January until the end of June, and 2 hours from July to the end of the year. That would mean WWE would follow the same schedule in 2027 that it did this year, though it's not clear how long this will continue or if it's a part of WWE's current agreement with USA Network parent company NBC Universal.
Now, why do you find this inherently bad? I mean, I personally prefer a 2-hour SmackDown to a 3-hour SmackDown.
Well, there's many reasons. Because one, creatively, if you're used to booking a 3-hour show, I suppose you could get into the swing of things, but it's hard to reduce 1 hour, add an hour, reduce an hour, add an hour, go back and forth like that. And I think for the audience, there could be some confusion because in a 3-hour show, playing cardio version.
Yeah, that's just about Joe. Yeah, that's all right. Our audio listeners, we don't want to be. I just put that up so our video watchers can see the comment, but yeah, we don't want to keep going.
I don't hope he dies.
No, of course not.
I'll say that.
Okay, so so SmackDown, you don't think?
I don't see what the strategy is here because you're a 3-hour SmackDown. You're already viewed as the B show,
right?
Anyway, and so you're going to bring up talent, and then what are you going to do when you go back to 2 hours? Bust that talent back to NXT? I mean, I think you're getting into a situation where you're gonna hack off some talent here, and they're not gonna be happy.
I don't think it's necessarily bad to cycle some talent though down to NXT. Take some people who are maybe haven't been doing much, maybe they haven't been given much to do, maybe they're regarded as a little bit stale, and you send them down to NXT to help out and kind of freshen them up. I don't see any reason why they can't do that.
That affects their pay as well.
Sure.
I mean, and given the momentum surge that AEW has right now, this is not the time to be handing talent over to AEW.
Charles said in the chat, the main reason I disagree is it sounds like they can't make up their mind as to how long of a show to have, and it also affects talent getting airtime.
I think the big thing reducing is they're trying to stay viable during football season.
Yeah.
Because Friday Night SmackDown airs in direct competition with Friday Night Football on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
With with a college game from either the Big Ten or the Big 12. So it's usually one good team. So I see why they're doing it, but I think you're going to create more problems than you're going to fix.
Yeah, I just don't see it as that big of a deal. I don't have the same concerns that you guys do. I just,
as always in this business, time will tell, Matt.
Yeah, and we don't know if maybe that's just the arrangement that they have. But
I agree with Charles. It just feels like that they don't know what to do with SmackDown in a greater sense.
Charles said, I mean, they are moving talent to AAA. As you can see, Dominic holds the Mega Championship, and you got the War Raiders, who are now the tag team champions. So technically, TKO has 4 television shows. Yeah, but see, I see that as an advantage, though. If you want to move talent around and freshen, like the War Raiders, I think it's great that they're the AAA tag. I almost said TNA, the AAA tag team champions. I mean, I think that's cool. I think you have because it gives you more opportunities to move people around and then keep them fresh.
Does a majority of the audience know where they can watch AAA at, though?
That might be a problem. Yeah,
that is what I agree with everything Charles said. That it's, how do I want to say this? AAA is doing great things, but it's if a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, did it actually fall?
Right. Doesn't make a sound.
Yeah, it doesn't
Um,
make a sound. Sorry, misspoke there.
That's okay. So,
But
yeah,
I mean, I love what AAA is doing.
I do
would
too.
love to see AAA get a major streaming deal at the very least, and I was hopeful that could happen with partnering up with TKO and Endeavor, but it just seems like the wheels are slow to move on that, which
Yeah.
I don't understand because there's a litany of networks that WWE works with.
Right.
There has to be one that would have a slot for AAA, whether it's pre-recorded or not.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on that. And we'll see an announcement at some point.
Another great point Charles said, but their start time is 8 p.m., which does coincide with any football that may be airing on another network. So going to 2 hours isn't going to help that. No, it's not. I mean, unless that Friday night, the rare Friday night that they're at a USC or Oregon or you know, if they're on a Big Ten West Coast side, I think they start later. They've done that in the past. They started at 9 p.m. Eastern instead of 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
But the Big Ten deal, the Big Ten TV deal was revised this offseason. So that might have changed.
Okay. All right.
But that's the thing is WWE by having SmackDown on Friday nights. I just saw Charles' comment.
So AAA can be found on WWE's YouTube channel, which hasn't been taken off the air yet for racist comments like some other YouTube channels have. That is true. That is
very true. Good on them. Good
and we
on
should
them for following the rules.
And it's good to tell people that too, that you can find AAA on WWE's YouTube channel.
I was thinking you could,
Yeah.
But again, does the average fan know that?
Right. They do need to do a better job of putting that across.
Yeah. If you're gonna make AAA a viable fourth brand or fifth brand, if you want to count TNA, then you need to get it out more.
Right.
Especially when you have some of your talent that's their champions in AAA.
And coming off, of course, that huge, very successful storyline with El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano. A little bit of that bled over onto the main roster, but not that much. And Solomonster pointed this out. I was listening to one of his videos, and he was saying that, the average WWE viewer who only watches the main roster, probably when they're seeing the Americanos on television, they probably have no idea that this is actually the hottest feud going on in AAA right now.
Yep.
And that this is the biggest deal in AAA right now, is this very, very hot feud. I'm sorry, my stomach talking. Hot feud. So yeah, they do need to do a better job of that. Absolutely.
And I love that point. And furthermore, you have Undertaker running creative, which everyone talks about. And I agree with this. This isn't me disparaging this statement that the Undertaker is one of the greatest wrestling minds of all time. Get some eyes on it.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, anything else on SmackDown, or should we move on to the
I
potential?
think it should just be 2 hours.
Okay. I prefer a 2-hour SmackDown to a 3-hour SmackDown. Yeah,
I think you making it a 3-hour SmackDown, you're watering it down more than it already is.
Although, unlike before, I do actually get to watch it live now on Friday nights.
Oh, yes. Yay for eliminating toxicity.
Exactly.
And Hot Wheels.
And Hot Wheels, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
not fans of Hot Wheels on this show.
No. So, so we have some MJF news potentially. He may be injured. This is still very cloudy, though, isn't it? Right? Whether he has a serious injury or not.
Injured. He did hyperextend his knee.
Okay, his knee
in the match with Roosh on Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Okay.
The issue, this is a very touchy situation. In the sports world, a hyperextended knee is a very, very touch and go situation, especially in a physical activity like professional wrestling, because the knee is exactly what it sounds like. It's hyperextended. The ligaments are stretched. But if he does physical activity and he lands on it wrong or hits it wrong, the knee could be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a 6 to 12 month recovery.
Okay.
So I don't know if AEW takes a cautious approach and limits his appearances, especially with the big shows they have coming up. Although Dave Meltzer did report that his plans for Forbidden Door have not been altered because of this.
Okay. All right. So we'll have to see. So not much else to really say on that, right? We have to.
Yes, it is a
wait and see
knee
what happens.
hyperextension.
Okay.
Generally, the best thing to do for that is rest in rehab.
Okay.
So I would think Tony Khan, being the wrestler's CEO, would be prudent in that.
Okay. All right. Well, thoughts and prayers, I guess, to MJF. Oh, I'm not a religious man, but I'll throw that in. All right. Well, very good. So anything else on the undercard, or are we on to the main event?
We're actually on to the main event, unless our robust chat audience has anything to add.
Well, the main event this week, SummerSlam 1997. I always really loved the graphic. I chose.
This is one of my favorite event posters of all time.
Yeah, it's just really cool. Of course, in the main event, Bret the Hitman Hart challenging the Undertaker for the at that time still the WWF title, with Shawn Michaels, who is not in this particular graphic, as a special guest referee.
Yeah, and and I will have to do Austin's job for him. I will have to run it down. WWF SummerSlam 1997 took place on August 3rd, 1997, had a buy rate of 0.8, attendance 20,213 people at the Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Okay. And was a key part of the Wrestling with Shadows documentary.
Yes.
WWF was in a very precarious position when this card happened. A lot of confusing things were going on. Bret was a heel, but you could hear cheers starting to return back for the Hitman.
Right.
You had Stone Cold Steve Austin was over like Rover at this point. Shawn was appearing sporadically, coming back from his knee injury, whether people want to believe that or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was a really weird time, because I remember the month before you had a Canadian Stampede in your house in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and it was an 8-man tag match. Ken Shamrock, it was either an 8-man or a 10-man.
I think it was 10.
Yeah, Shamrock, Austin, Goldust, and the Legion of Doom versus Owen, Bret, Davey, Brian Pillman, and Neidhart.
Team Canada.
Yes, and so yeah, and of course in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the Hearts were over. They were the heroes, but that really brought a lot of attention to SummerSlam in this event that had so many stipulations to it.
Well, speaking of attention too, it's worth mentioning that this SummerSlam was much more successful than the previous year in terms of attendance and buy rate. This was they were definitely on an upswing if you look year over year versus, you know, SummerSlam 97 versus 96. This was definitely a successful event for them.
Right. And it was the first pay-per-view hosted in New Jersey in quite some time.
Yeah, there were some they hadn't been to New Jersey, which might sound strange to people. Really, New Jersey, it's their backyard, you know, because they're in, of course, Titan at that point in Stamford, Connecticut. But apparently it was very tax prohibitive for a long time for them to actually run in New Jersey. And then Christine Todd Whitman, the governor at that time, who actually was at the event and got booed a bit. But he was, but yeah, I guess she had made some adjustments or tax exemptions or something to make it possible for WWE to run there.
Yeah, and she actually pulled a lot of strings, and she was a big part of the broadcast. And this was, I think, the first major event held at the Continental Airlines Arena. I believe it just opened. And I'm John Loftus. We're not boomers.
Yeah, and I don't know what AI video. I haven't posted any AI videos, so I don't know what that's about. But welcome to the show, regardless, John Loftus, whoever you are. Oh, I told Joe about your sad attempt to get his attention and alerted YouTube to your fraudulent video that isn't properly marked as AI. That's not AI, but whatever.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, John Loftus. Welcome to the universe here.
Us and for ignorantly reporting us. Good try. A for effort. Like what am I supposed to say?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. The Dirk Don video, it's not AI. That's not an AI video.
Yeah, that was actually Dirk Don.
Yeah, that was literally Dirk Don. That's 11 Labs audio. No, I'm familiar with 11 Labs. Text to speech. No, that was literally Dirk Don recording his voice.
I have Facebook messages between Dirk Don and I talking about his eulogy when he sent it to me.
I will say this though, I can kind of understand why someone would think that, because the way that Dirk speaks, I can actually understand why someone would think that. Now that I'm thinking about it, but it's
very, very smooth delivery.
Yeah. Joe DeVito knockoff. Oh.
Joe is DeVito knockoff. He's saying that Joe is like Danny DeVito.
Oh, Danny DeVito. Yeah. But probably that's the same height.
Danny DeVito.
I know. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, I get what you're trying to do there, and I approve it.
Yeah.
But don't besmirch Danny DeVito by comparing him to Joe.
Yeah. And we're certainly not boomers. My dad was a boomer.
Yeah, we're not boomers. We're Gen X.
That's right.
Yeah. Good try. Again, you tried. That's the important part. So yeah, it was a very, rewatching it this week, I just remember like it was a bizarre pay-per-view because they would go from these hard-hitting matches to these stories about things that happened around New Jersey, and they had a fun run and a charity softball game, and they talked to Christy Todd Whitman, and they had a blimp in there, and they had a reggae band outside the stadium.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on, and you can actually see more of it on the Wrestling with Shadows documentary. There were actual arguments outside the arena about Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Like people throwing stuff at Bret Hart fans.
Oh, yeah.
It was very contentious.
It was great. I mean, that whole storyline was it was hot. It was really hot.
I think they heard it with the stipulations that were in the main event.
Oh yeah, because didn't every Hart family member or Hart Foundation, I should say, didn't they all have a stipulation, some of which were not even followed through on?
No, the stipulations were as follows. Shawn Michaels was a special guest referee, but could not be biased against Bret the Hitman Hart, or he could never wrestle again.
That's what you're referring to, yes.
Then Bret, if he lost, could never wrestle in America again.
Yep.
And then Undertaker had no stipulations on him, but there was this cloud hanging over the Undertaker with his brother Kane was going to return.
Yeah, Paul Bearer kept saying Kane was coming. Kane was coming.
Yeah, Kane was coming. And if Gypsy Maggie is Mr. D, welcome back, Mr. D. We're
welcome.
You have joined us.
Oh, see, I didn't put it together. Oh, we like Mr. D. We consider him an ally.
He's awesome. I'm glad he's back.
Yeah. I don't even mind. I don't even mind when he gets a little edgy with us because we can take it. But
we're fine. And you know what, Mr. D? You can always listen to us and go and listen to Joe, and we will not bash you for it.
Yeah, and unlike Crazy Joe, Mr. D is not a fake Rican.
Yes, a fake Rican.
Hard to say that with a straight face. No, but there were stipulations. There were additional stipulations. The Hart family, the Hart Foundation guys, like
I think it was basically they could not interfere.
Well, Neidhart had a stipulation, and then he ended up not even being at the event, but he had a stipulation going in that if any of the Hart Foundation members lost, he was going to shave off his beard. But then that was just forgotten about. He wasn't even at the event.
No, he wasn't. I forgot. They in the rebroadcast I watched, they didn't even touch on those stipulations, or I missed them. But I forgot how good that this event was from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's very strong. It's very strong.
The opening match is so good. And I remember watching this on pay-per-view live and being shocked that they opened with a steel cage match.
It is worth noting the cage looks strange. Not just because, I mean, for one thing, of course, it's the old style, with the blue bars.
Yeah.
But
pure steel.
But it's also shorter. And I don't know why that is, but I cannot think of another instance where they used a cage that was that height because it just looks compressed.
I am glad you brought that up because even watching it before this episode, I was really like, why does this look off?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they were trying something new. Maybe it was a rule set forth by the New Jersey State Athletic Commission.
This be.
Who knows? But Mankind, I think that this is really when you had to start considering Triple H as a main event player.
Yeah.
This match was amazing with him, and any time you put Mick Foley with Triple H, it was amazing. But the Observer gave it 2.5 stars. I think that's very low.
I mean, I personally, I probably would too, only because. Look, I thought it was a strong match. I like the character work. I even like the, Mankind kind of hints at Dude Love, the Dude Love persona coming out at a couple of points.
The elbow drop from the top of the cell.
Yeah. So it's fun, but as you know, I think you know this about me by now, I do get impatient with this type of match. Brawling on the outside, brawling into, I think, don't they end up outside at one point, like literally outside?
At the beginning.
Yeah, all that kind of shit. I tend not to have much patience. I know most people like that stuff. I tend to not have a lot of patience with that. Get it in the ring. I don't care about this other stuff. So it was a fun match, but honestly, not my favorite thing. Just that style of match does not really do it for me. It never has. Even when I was a kid, I was like, I'd rather see them actually wrestle than this stuff. That's just me, though. I'm a curmudgeon when it comes to that. Good effort, though. They worked hard.
they worked hard, and it told such an amazing story of Mankind being the underdog when he really shouldn't have been the underdog, because this was his type of match. But Triple H, leading up to this event, had his number every single time. And Triple H had beat him in the King of the Ring finals. And that's the one regret I have, is that Triple H won the King of the Ring this year, a year too late than what he was supposed to. But it just felt like they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I was like, I totally forgot he won King of the Ring till I rewatched this event.
Right. Yeah.
And he had that shirt that said H3, and on the back, it's good to be king.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay. So, yeah, But I thought it was a great match. A great opener, a really hot opener. And then another match that I was shocked with how good it was Davey Boy versus Ken Shamrock.
Yes. Well, I can tell you, I was a big Ken Shamrock fan back in the day. Well. Yeah, I really thought, I've always thought it's a shame that his career in WWE didn't last longer. I know that he wanted to go back to fighting, to UFC, but I thought he was really good. I liked that he was believable. He kind of, I remember having a conversation at one point with somebody about how storyline wise, they almost made him like their own little action adventure hero. He was rescuing people from the Undertaker at one point and things like that. I just thought I really liked Ken Shamrock, and I thought he was very good in the ring and very believable. I always enjoyed Shamrock, and it was a good match. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Davey Boy Smith, as long as he wasn't on anything that was mind altering, he could have a great match. And yeah, I thought they worked very well together.
Of his career, it was becoming fewer and farther in between.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he had this great match and it clocked in at under 10 minutes was really, really amazing. And I think everyone in the Hart Foundation, even Pillman in his match with Goldust, did well.
Yeah.
I think this, if you're looking for a card other than Canadian Stampede to be very Hart Foundation centric, it was this card.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Hart Foundation really delivered on their side of it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Absolutely. As one would expect.
Well, I mean, given the situations, I mean, Davey was hit or miss. Pillman was basically a one-legged man at this point.
True.
There were a lot of things going against them, but they did an awesome job.
Well, except for one.
Oh, boy.
We can't forget about Owen Hart nearly paralyzing Stone Cold Steve Austin. And, Austin has talked about how they talked about leading up to this. Austin was like, okay, when I take the pile driver, you're going to your knees, right? I want to, and Owen kept insisting, no, I'm going to fall on my ass when I do the pile driver, because obviously there's multiple ways to do it. And Austin wasn't comfortable with it. And Owen insisted, no, you'll be safe. I know how to do it. I'm good. You'll be safe. And sure enough, he does the pile driver and drops him on his head. And it's scary. And it ends up being one of the worst finishes of a match ever. Watching Austin roll up Owen, they should have called an audible on that and just had Owen go over.
That was the audible.
Well, no, but I mean, instead of having Austin win, they should have had Owen go over at that point, because it just looked so bad.
But again,
that roll up looks so bad.
It is bad, but chicken salad out of chicken shit, Matt. You're on the fly. You got to make.
That's why I'm saying they should have called an audible. If you want to make chicken salad out of it, call an audible. Either have Owen go over, or you have the match stopped and just go with what's really happening. But what they did, having that awful, because nobody looked good coming out of that, having that awful roll up.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
Because had they not done that, Vince McMahon would not have taken his first stunner ever.
Oh, sure. I understand. I mean, you can, I'm just saying.
There was a lot of good that came out of that finish.
There was in the long term. Right. And hindsight is 2020. I'm just saying in the moment, it looked terrible.
In the moment, I remember, because I've said this so many times on this show, I watched this with all my buddies usually. One person would order it and we'd all hang out and watch it. I remember we were just confused with it. We're like, what? Because if you rewatching it now, even I'm like, Owen's shoulder is off the mat.
Yeah, it looked awful.
You're like, what happened?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of those things in wrestling history that is just so regrettable. Because if you meet someone who wants to combat Owen Hart being great, this is what they point to.
Right.
This moment. I don't have an issue with the pile driver itself.
Right.
The pile driver is a very dangerous move. It can go wrong as it did here.
But so are a million other things. Yeah.
I do agree with Austin, and his story has not changed on this.
Nope.
Him being apprehensive about going ass first.
I
get it. I believe after this, they banned going ass first on a pile driver.
They did, yeah.
That you could not do it.
They banned, well, at one point, eventually, now it might not have been right after this, but eventually they banned, as you know, they banned pile drivers entirely with rare exceptions. The Undertaker was always still allowed to do them, the tombstone pile driver. But other than that, they wouldn't even allow. I remember years later seeing it was John Cena versus CM Punk on Raw. And Punk actually delivers a pile driver to Cena. And I remember at the time thinking, because they had been banned for so long, I was like, oh, wow, look at that. That's cool. You don't see that anymore.
You have to get special permission to do it. It is very... You have to get that special permission to go ahead and do it. And look, I think my greatest issue is that Owen never called Steve after.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, that is deeply troubling. I mean, everyone always talks about how wonderful a person Owen Hart was, and he was funny and fun to be around. And yeah, he liked ribs and pranks, but never anything malicious. It was always fun. And everyone eulogizes him as being so wonderful, just the salt of the earth. But that's shitty. I mean, they're still getting around it.
That's one of those things that I've heard it. And I'm like, when you hear it, you can't believe it.
I know. And yet everyone, like, no one contradicts it though. And Austin has always said he never heard from Owen, and nobody else has ever contradicted Austin on that.
Hasn't contradicted it.
Nope. And
has become the ultimate contrarian.
Right. And the best, and the only, the excuse that people make is, well, he was probably so embarrassed and ashamed at what happened, but that doesn't make it okay at all.
No, it doesn't. And look, it affects trust. Like, they had a couple big matches after this, but you could tell the chemistry wasn't there.
Austin didn't want to be in the ring with him ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, he said that in his book, I think. He did not want to be in the ring with him ever again.
Yeah, I mean, it was brutal. And you could tell, even watching it live, you could tell that it was botched. Like, you could see Austin's head hit the mat.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that neck just push up.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, just terrible.
And yeah, it was a messy finish, but I also take the Starrcade 1997 Eric Bischoff argument on this.
Yeah.
What would have happened had Austin not won that match?
Sure. No, I get it.
I mean,
In hindsight, sure.
We can sit here and we can say, oh, you can audible, you can do that. Dude, that crowd would have lost their minds.
Well, it would have put Owen over as an even bigger heel.
I mean, hopefully, but what I think you would have is go home heat during the main event. They might have hijacked that show.
I don't know. Skeptical about that.
I mean, because I think out of everything that was set up for this card, the most predictable was that Owen was losing to Steve Austin.
Yeah.
That was the most predictable.
Right.
Not that the 8-man tag team match with the race war between Los Boricuas and Disciples of Apocalypse, not that that was going to be the worst match of the night. And it was, according to also the Observer, gave it half a star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The tag team matches were absolutely awful. The Legion of Doom and the Godwins.
Yeah. I never liked anything the Godwins did.
That was
the only thing the Godwins ever did that I actually enjoyed, and they gave up on it immediately, was when they weren't the Godwins anymore. Do you remember the tag team
Southern Justice?
Southern Justice. And I remember when they became Southern Justice, like they beat somebody up and then they leave the business card on. And I remember at the time thinking, that's a cool gimmick. I like this. I can't wait to see where they go with this. And then they just fucking forgot about it. It was just gone.
It was one of those things that it was time to learn a new hold.
It's just too bad because
they were part of Jim Cornette's stable.
Yeah.
And that stable just died out after you had Austin come out and basically destroy Jeff Jarrett.
But it's just such a shame because I actually liked that gimmick. And then it was gone. I think I saw it once, literally once, and then that was it. It was gone. Hey, can we address something in the chat room just really quickly?
Absolutely.
It's a little bit of a side. It's very much a side street, but this Gypsy Imagi, is that what that says? Says Glenn for Governor, Karaoke King, Madison Square Garden, Glenn RJ. I don't know if you know this, Eric, but yesterday on Matt
Connerton, anything with Glenn RJ Willett.
Yesterday on Matt Connerton Unleashed, he's now known as Willett Glenn, the artist, and he was on in the first hour of my show yesterday singing. And he's become quite the global icon, and he's claiming he sells out 10,000 seat arenas and everything else, and he continues to remain the fascinating character that he's always been. But I think that's what
in his own mind.
Well, he does have a very active fantasy life, but you can check that out. That was yesterday on Matt Connerton Unleashed. It was very entertaining. Hearing him,
actually, I'm not going to get into personal things that I have with Glenn.
Yeah.
You guys can, if you want to research, you can go back and I believe in loyalty. I believe in treating people who give you an opportunity with respect.
Yes.
And not running to a city council meeting to whine, bitch, and moan when you're the butt of a joke.
I know. But I should just mention, I don't know if you know this, Eric, that is all water under the bridge because
it isn't with me because, he took pot shots at someone that I consider, although it's been a while since I've talked to him. I hope he's well or hope he reaches out. John Hopwood. He interrupted John's show to call myself, Gonzo, and Kyle pigs.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, and it's like, okay. Again, it goes back to the Joe argument. All roads lead back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Don't make it personal. Don't.
Right.
And when you promise that you're going to donate X amount of dollars
Oh, I forgot about that.
to orphan kids
Yeah.
and that your place of business is going to match it and you lied on air, I don't forgive that. I'm sorry.
I forgot about that.
I do not like those kids have a hard enough life and you're basically making a joke out of their situation.
The water under the bridge part I was thinking about is he's made up with Peter White of the morning show with Peter White. Glenn actually is on there now every Thursday morning. He goes on and sings.
The ratings just
he goes on and performs. They probably do because there's a lot of, at least certainly locally here in Manchester, there's a tremendous amount of interest in the exploits of Glenn R.J. Willett. He's quite the colorful character. And as Gypsy points out here in the chat, great performance, hell of a dresser. Yeah, I haven't posted the pictures yet from yesterday, but you'll get to see what Glenn was wearing. But anyway, so there you go. Lovely. All right.
Glenn was on your show while I ripped my toe open.
We should mention. So you referred to the gang war angle in that match.
Yeah.
This stuff, I felt.
Call it what it was. It was race baiting before race baiting was even a word.
Oh, race baiting's been a word for a lot longer than that.
I mean,
but
when I was this is the summer before my freshman year of high school. You could have said race baiting, and I would have been like, "What is that?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought this stuff just never quite worked.
No, it didn't. Because they also had the Nation involved too.
Yeah, and I remember at the time feeling like I get what they're trying to do, but it's just not working.
Racial tensions in this country.
Yeah.
And that there's always a really fine line when you're doing that in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Because a guy can say something and it becomes something bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it just never quite worked. And this match, I think, kind of exemplifies
it was
that.
Bad.
It was bad.
Oh my good. I don't know what was worse, this or the tag match between the Road Warriors and the Godwins.
Yeah.
It was the tag division was so awful. And I think it's because you had your tag champions having singles titles. So,
right. That's right. Because the tag team champions
were the champs.
Right.
So, and that I've always had an issue with that because then when you had these big pay-per-views, where are your tag team champions at?
Right. Yeah.
They're not there because they're defending their singles titles. So I get the idea of having the Hearts with all the belts. That's a cool idea because they did it with the Four Horsemen as well. Yeah. But you also, with the Four Horsemen, why it worked is because you had 4 hours of dedicated TV every week.
Mm-hmm.
WWF didn't have that at that point in time.
True.
And so, and to drive feuds, if you wanted to have a tag match with Owen and Davey, you would have to have a makeshift tag team fight them.
Right.
And everyone knows a makeshift team, unless it was when they did Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels as tag champions, which was genius, isn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could always become a great team like Goldust and Booker T, RVD and Kane are a couple that were just thrown together and somehow, boom,
mm-hmm.
magic occurs. But it's few and far in between.
Right.
And they can't have singles championships. Because you're like, well, why is he partners with them? Why isn't he going for the IC title? Why isn't he going for the European title? What are we doing here? So it just logically doesn't make sense. It really shortchanges your pay-per-views, and it puts ice on 2 of your titles. Yeah. Either your tag titles or the singles titles.
Well, should we talk about? So we talked about all the undercard matches. I think should we talk about the main event?
Yes, I love this match.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
that this match is one of the most underrated in Bret Hart's career.
Of course, Bret Hart challenging The Undertaker for the WWF title with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee.
And I like the story they told
Mm-hmm.
in this match. And I like how they played into the undercurrent of tension
Mm-hmm.
with Shawn and Bret. And then the Undertaker got involved with it.
And at this point, they were already still very much not getting along backstage as well, right?
Right.
Like they were already. Was this, refresh my memory, was this after the incident where the backstage fight where Bret actually pulled out some of Shawn's hair?
No, that was after Sunny Days.
The Sunny Days comment. Okay.
And
So this,
Sunny Days happened about maybe a month and a half later.
okay. So this was still before it got really bad,
Yeah.
but they weren't getting along at this point.
No,
Okay.
no. Because this was after Bret missed the cue. Allegedly, Bret missed the cue.
Oh, yeah, kicking Shawn in the face on television. Yeah.
Shawn kicking him in the face.
Shawn,
and it didn't air.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And it didn't air. Yeah, but yeah, I really like this match as well. And I mean, of course, Bret could have a great match with just about anybody, except Vince, obviously, but there's reasons for that. But, and I always enjoyed the dynamic of, Undertaker at this point was different in his style in that he was faster. It wasn't the same Undertaker when he first came into WWF
Right.
at that point, he was a lot
he
quicker.
credits Bret for that.
Yeah.
He credits Bret for the change in his abilities because Bret would call him Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And Bret got him. He's like, because if you're going to wrestle Bret, you got to be near Bret's level.
Yes.
If you're not, Bret will get you through.
Yeah.
But it's easier if you're on his level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think what really hurt this match is, like I said, the overloading of stipulations. You had so much going on. I don't think you needed any of that.
You didn't. I agree with you.
Now the argument would be, what did you need? I don't.
You had enough there. You didn't need any of that.
I don't think you needed Shawn as the special guest referee.
Oh, you mean even not have that? See, I like that. I think that made it pretty interesting.
I think that made the story better.
And I like the finish they were able to do because of it.
To have that stipulation, Shawn cannot be biased against Bret Hart. That was dumb because that would have added a whole nother level of intrigue going into this main event.
True.
Will Shawn screw Bret? Will Shawn count Bret's shoulders? Will Shawn do the right thing?
Right.
But then the ending happens, and it makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is one of my favorite schmaz endings ever.
Really? Yeah.
I love that. Bret just hawks that big old globber on Shawn's face.
Good aim.
Yeah. And Shawn, you can tell he's torn. He doesn't want to count. But guess what?
Yeah. And the look on his face as he's doing it. It's really good. Yeah, really good. Everyone played their roles perfectly. And that big loogie that he hawked on the Bret hawked on Shawn.
That had some hate on it.
That was prophetic. Not the last time we saw that happen, was it?
No.
Yeah, no, it was a great ending. It was a very, very good match. I agree with you.
Yeah, it was a very good match. I personally think it was time for The Undertaker to lose.
Yeah.
I think that it was time. for whatever reason, this title run, I don't feel stuck.
Yeah, not terribly memorable. No, I agree.
It just was.
Well, at that point too, the character still had certain limitations.
I mean, the month after they had they did the match with Steve at In Your House, A Cold Day in Hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of petered out. I want to say I think The Undertaker might have been injured.
Oh. Don't remember hearing that, but
but it just seems like it just seems that it was unremarkable, so to speak.
Yeah. I don't remember much about it, so I would probably tend to agree. All right. Well, any other thoughts on SummerSlam 97? What many would laud is one of the great SummerSlams.
This truly was the beginning of the end of Bret Hart.
Yeah. Yeah, you've said that before. Yeah, explain that.
Well, I mean, because at this point he has the championship, and it just feels like that no one really knew what to do with him. He had a match with the Patriot at an In Your House.
This is something he complains about a lot in Wrestling with Shadows. Here he is, he's the champion. He should be in the main event. But they've got him not main eventing, and he feels like he's playing second fiddle to Shawn, which obviously fed into a lot of the tensions between them. But yeah, he's like, I'm your champion, but you're treating me like, it was a little bit like Randy Savage, right? When Randy Savage was champion, but Hogan was still presented as the top guy. Now you've got Bret Hart as champion, but he's not being presented as the top guy.
Well, you had so many other guys really surging. You had Stone Cold, you had there was a lot going on. But what I will say is that it just feels like that they gave this to Bret and just thought that Bret was gonna carry the ball and everything was gonna be fine, and didn't really turn out that way. He's the champion, and he's jobbing out to the Patriot on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, there was some questionable decisions. I mean, of course, to be fair, that was during the whole, Bret's a heel in the US, but he's a hero everywhere else, especially Canada. So I kind of get what they were doing, but I don't think that made any sense. And it's not like the Patriot had any long-term value.
Even then, Vince knew that he was going to try to get rid of Bret.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah. When you're trying to get rid of someone, you try to devalue them as much as possible.
But then why put the belt on him if that was the strategy?
Like, I made you the top guy. You're not drawing the numbers that you did before.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. And if anyone wants to present evidence that I am, I'll be happy to discuss it. But I think that was a part of Vince's plan. Bret Hart, him and Undertaker, I don't think ever had a rematch even.
Nope. Not that I can recall.
So you have him battle the Patriot. You job him out to the Patriot on Raw in a hokey finish. Then that's the main event of an In Your House. And then the In Your House that Shawn and Taker at the cage, Hell in a Cell for the number one contendership. He isn't even on the card.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here?
Right. Yeah.
So I did not get any of that at all. And I think McMahon knew in his mind this is what he was going to do. Now, obviously, I don't think the screw job was in his head.
No.
But I think that this really was a setup to devalue Bret and make Bret look bad.
Yeah.
The simple solution is don't sign a guy to a 20-year deal.
Right.
And you know,
Well, but when you bring that up, I mean, that kind of cuts against your argument, doesn't it?
what do you mean?
The 20-year deal. When you bring that up, I mean, why was it? Was that before or after this? The
This
SummerSlam
was
97.
after this. That's how Brett returned in the
Okay.
fall of 96.
Yeah.
Is Vince signed him to a 20-year deal. He was only going to wrestle for 3 of the years. The rest, he was going to be backstage.
Mm. Yeah. Which is funny too, considering when you think back now how young Brett still was at that point. Although by standards of that day, and was I have to remind myself this was almost 30 years ago. By that standard, I suppose he was pretty late in his career. By today's standards, he'd be still considered very much in his prime.
Yeah.
In terms of age,
I mean, he was on the road 300 plus days a year.
Yeah.
So, and Bret Hart. I always hear people say, "You seen one Bret Hart match? You seen them all." No,
you hear
people.
Wrong. You've heard a lot of people say that.
All the
Really?
If someone hates Bret Hart, that's what they go to, and it's like, well, no.
Well, is it that, or is it just the complaining about the 5 moves of doom? Because I've heard people say that, but you could say that about a lot of guys.
Has
so
their
what?
Go-tos. It's just. I have never looked at Bret Hart as being a scripted, formulaic wrestler.
Me neither.
No. He is not Ric Flair, where you can call every Ric Flair match. Oh, he's going to the top rope. High crotch, throw him off. Oh, he's going over the top, going to land on the apron and get the chop.
Yeah, you can call certain spots, but the guy used to do 60-minute Broadways with Ricky Steamboat. I think you're being a little unfair to Flair.
Fuck him.
I think you're being a little hard on the Nature Boy. But no, I mean, Brett, as you know, he's my second favorite of all time and a very close number 2. Macho Man Randy Savage is my number 1, but Brett's a close number 2.
I think as I get older, the more I watch of Ric Flair's old matches, the more I'm like, was it really that good? Or was it a product of who he was with? Like you could watch a Bret Hart match and be like, Bret makes his opponents better.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought that way about a Ric Flair match?
I don't know if I have a specific match, but Flair really liked to sell, though. He liked to sell for his opponents.
Opponent look good.
Yeah.
But did he make his opponent better? Did his opponent have to up his abilities to be in the ring with him?
I don't know. I mean, some would say Flair's one of those guys who could have a match with a broomstick and it would be compelling.
Flair's had matches with alcohol bottles. Oh, wait, he still does every night. Awesome.
Yep. He always loses that one.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, to me, Bret, you could watch 5 Bret Hart Undertaker matches and they're all different.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just Bret knowing what buttons to press.
Right.
And knowing what direction to go and knowing what to do. And that's something that I think is so missed in today's professional wrestling. Like when we have these rematches, a lot of times it feels like it's the same match. And that's, it's so hard because it's like, I know you two can do better. Like, don't go back to the well. Actually put yourself better than and move yourself up that ladder.
Gypsy Magi in the chat says Greg Valentine versus Flair. I don't remember. I know that they wrestled. I can't remember.
They did,
but I can't think of a specific match in the NWA.
The only NWA Greg Valentine match I remember is his dog collar match with Roddy Piper at Starrcade '83.
Oh yeah, I've never watched that, but I'm aware.
You could not watch it, man.
I know. That's why I was going to say I've always been aware of it. That I've always heard about it, but it's not something because for any newer listeners or viewers who don't know, I'm not into blood. I'm not into violence. I don't like that aspect of it. So those kinds of matches don't appeal to me. And apparently that match is incredibly bloody. And didn't somebody end up with a ruptured eardrum from that match? Yeah. So
there's another match in Infamy that ends with someone having a ruptured eardrum. Steve Corino versus Homicide.
Really?
In Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Homicide just smacks him and blows out his eardrum.
Yeah. Gypsy Magi says Valentine won in that. The match against Piper. I know he won against the match against Piper, right?
Yes. And, to be fair to you, Matt, I've watched that match and I have to look away.
Really?
It is. Oh, it's up there with the John Cena, Eddie Guerrero, where Eddie just blades and hits a vein.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you. I don't. No. Well, very good. Well, anything else to say on SummerSlam 97? I think
that this was the real time that we started turning towards the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I think that this was the jump start of it.
Yeah.
And people can look at it and say, well, why? And, there was a lot that happened there. Mm-hmm. Like, you look at the big matches, and even the people who were supposed to be heels, you could say were tweeners.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn was a tweener as a special guest referee.
Well, even Steve Austin, who obviously, I'm sure they had him slated as a babyface, but he was still he wasn't fully a babyface, really. I mean, he was kind of still a tweener at that point.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, obviously going into that match, Owen was the heel, but Austin was not fully a babyface yet.
Correct.
So yeah, absolutely. No, I think this is the progenitor, if I could use that term,
yes,
to the Attitude Era. All right. Well, very good. Well, should we put a pin in that one?
Yeah. Again, it was a great event. One of the better SummerSlams. And keep in mind, SummerSlam was only 8 years old when this event happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it was the first one that the title match, you went into it and you were really like, man, something big could happen here. Because the year before you had Vader and Shawn.
Yeah.
And I think there wasn't a lot of heavy belief Vader was going to win that.
Yeah. Nope. That was predictable, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
What wasn't predictable was how that match went.
Right. Well, very good. So what are we doing next week, Eric, for the main event?
Next week, we are going to talk, and we're all going to have to do research on it. Because it's an expansive subject. The birth of the Great American Bash.
Ah, yes.
Because a lot of people think it's just an event. And no. It was a tour initially.
Mm-hmm.
And they went crazy booking that.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned a lot about that from you because that had come up on the show once before, and you told me some things about that I didn't realize.
The Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
And that's where War Games debuted.
Yeah. War Games, the match beyond. Yeah, very well. That'll be interesting. All right, that'll be a great subject for next week. And of course, thoughts with our friend Austin Hicks, or your
Heal Up Austin,
my friend, your cousin. He's your cousin, right? Cousin or nephew?
Yes. Cousin.
And so hopefully he's feeling better. I'm sure he'll be feeling better next week. And
hopefully.
Once again, RIP to Crazy Joe's Video Chronicles, his YouTube channel.
Rest in piss, YouTube channel.
But that's okay. We already found the new one.
Yeah, we're Joe. We're aware of your new one.
Yeah.
Just know that we know where your new YouTube channel is, buddy.
We're aware, and we're always watching.
We're always watching, and Femyaz knows where it's at too.
She's always watching.
and her very large contingent.
Yeah, she's got a lot of subscribers.
Uh,
She's got a big
yeah,
following.
I think they were heavy-handed in reporting Joe as well.
Probably. Yeah.
So yeah, I cannot take full ownership of this, although I wish I could.
Yeah.
Because it would be so sweet if Donkey Boy was the only reason Joe got kicked off YouTube.
Right.
But I'm
right.
not. I'm a part of a group that did it.
Oh,
Well,
one other thing
I am
too.
proud of my part in it.
One other thing we should maybe mention too that we haven't talked about just very, very briefly. Another nemesis of ours, Stacey Lawton, going to prison.
Yes,
has been convicted.
has been convicted, and her sentencing was delayed due to a technical issue.
Yeah, but probably gonna
Get over 40 years.
Yeah, that was one thing Joe was right about. Joe used to refer to Stacey Lawton as a freak of nature, and that I think is accurate.
I just remember having to go into my job and my boss telling me, Eric, in verbatim, this is what he said, Eric, why are you fucking with a trainee?
Oh, wow.
Because after we had done the Stacey's appearance on your show,
Yeah.
where basically it was myself, DJ Reckless, and Dirk Don
Mhm.
that took her on.
Yep.
And like called her out on her bullshit, which you handled so professionally.
Oh, thank you.
Like it had to be hard sitting there hearing your friends be like, no, you're full of shit. And you gotta be the one to sit there and kind of steer the ship down the middle of the stream here.
I loved it though. You know, I love that stuff.
I know at that time I didn't, because if you remember, I sent you a very long apology on Facebook
Oh,
Messenger.
yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, I loved it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
well,
yeah. I love that stuff.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
well, gloves are off. I can do
Yeah.
this anytime.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, she had found out where I worked and
Yep.
my job, saying that I was harassing a transgendered senator.
Yep. She's
Yeah.
another one, just like Joe. She's another one who tried to make it personal and tried to actually affect people's livelihoods.
And I guess what makes me angrier at Joe than her is, like, we have a Substack we can send out to people that's evidence of everything Joe has said about us
Mm-hmm.
as a group and
Yeah.
individually.
Yeah.
But it was so easy just to be like, listen to this show and listen to what happened the following Monday.
Yep.
And it went away because it was
Right.
like, you said nothing wrong.
Right. Oh, of course. Yeah.
And actually, HR looked her up on Google.
Oh, no
and
kidding. Yeah.
Got the litany of issues, abuse of EAS, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like it was basically they had to call me in, and I talked about this on your show. I had to explain, and they're like, yeah, we just have to make sure when we respond to the email that we spoke with him, and here's what we found, and you're full of shit.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm like, well, I wouldn't say that to her. You know what I mean? I wouldn't, because she seems very, very unstable and unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do want to address Lindsay Groves in this situation. I'm kind of torn on Lindsay. If Lindsay really was psychologically manipulated, you're going to have some time to really think about it.
Yep. She's already been sentenced.
Yes, to 20 or 22.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stacey should get 40 or more.
Yeah.
Just heinous, manipulative, disruptive, just a horrible human being. Let's call it what it is.
It's fun when our enemies go to prison, though.
It is. Like, I'm like, see what happens when you fuck with Eric?
That's right.
Yeah, You better learn how to wash Bubba's drawers now, Stacy.
That's right. That's right.
Starch, motherfucker.
Yep.
Shoot program. 24-hour lockdown.
Oh boy. All right. Well,
I'm
very
King
good.
Kong. I run this piece.
Well, on that note, I guess we'll wrap this one up. Episode 48 of Tough Bumps is in the books. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the show on YouTube, or subscribe on the podcast platform of your choice. Let's see, Eric, where can people find you?
You can find me at theirishtribune.com. Yesterday, an article was column I wrote was published about how Notre Dame hatred is just Notre Dame jealousy. And I have another column coming out late this week, talking about the history of Notre Dame versus Navy and why they play each other every year.
Okay.
And you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Pilcher's Point, on X at Eric.PilcherIT, or Facebook, Eric Pilcher.
All right. Easiest way to find me is mattconnerton.com. You can find links to all of my socials there, all of my content, various programs I'm involved in. And of course, if you're looking for Matt Connerton Unleashed, you can also go to our new site, mattconnertonunleashed.com. Find the archive there. You can find some stuff about our enemies there, of course, and lots of content, and, all that good stuff.
I have a question about your show yesterday.
Yes.
Did Glenn agree to sing Boys Club?
Nope. I brought it up to him off air. He said it's a great song. I don't know it.
Then how does he know it's a great song?
That's a good question. You'd have to ask him.
I will leave that to you, Matt.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Eric, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Episode 48 of Tough Bumps is in the book, and we'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week.